Welcome back to another episode of the podcast From the Depths of Darkness to the Light of Success. I am your host, Chris Swick, and this podcast is about sharing everyone's story. At the end of the day, I believe everyone's story is valuable. Does not matter what walk of life you come from. You're all welcome on this platform. We share love, compassion. We talk about addictions, mental health, mental illness, eating disorders. Whatever anyone's afraid to talk about, we talk about it on this platform, guys and gals. And I would love to introduce to you my next guest on the show today. We got Dylan Green coming at you. You want to take it away and let them know a little bit about yourself, Dylan?
Hi guys, what's up? Well, my name is Dylan Green. I'm a kickboxing coach and a return dragon. I've been through a lot in the last few years. I was doing Thai boxing and all that. I got into motorcycles, hit a deer on a motorcycle, ended up with opiate addiction, pulled myself out of that, rebuilt my body over the pandemic, got a job coaching, helping out at a gym, and just been going ever since and trying to stay steady and just keep going.
So what are your deepest values today, Dylan?
To be honest, my deepest values are the value of not having value, not putting any value on anything. I've always really a Zen type person growing up, and I was very, I'd say like a little bit of a nut job when I was younger, but I was always like to be alone, like to be by myself. I didn't really care about material things. I really valued relationships, which got me in a lot of trouble because I was toxic and loyal to them. And now I'm getting into it with love as the background. But through my teachers and through talking with a few teachers, I'm learning that to have love, you have to have hate. So the eternal love is not the love that I think of. It's the love for everything and everybody and disregard material objects. So I'm going that route.
So walk us through, before you came into recovery, did you got into the opiates? Now that was because of your motorcycle accident, Dylan?
Yeah, I was involved in things I shouldn't have been. I was always around the drunk scene, but I never did. And after a motorcycle, I didn't even smoke weed. And after a motorcycle accident, I got prescribed Percocets. And just from there, on the story goes, it's a few years of ending up down in the tubes. And then methadone. I was at 115 milligrams at the start of the pandemic. Now I'm sitting at 4.
That's amazing, man. Weaning yourself off that. And I presume your goal is to completely be off methadone sooner than later, right?
Yeah, off everything. I was also on benzos. I'm off those completely. It's been a long road, but this pandemic, the thing is with me is I've always been a self person. I've always known how to take care of myself and do what I want to do. But what I wanted to do didn't always help people around me. And my goal is, I was a fighter. I like motorcycles. I like fast, live fast, die young type thing. And I couldn't do that. But during this pandemic, I got some time to be alone and do things my way. And my way doesn't work for society. It works for me. And then if I can build myself to a person that can help society, I can keep doing things my way and just help both when I can. I like to walk myself through, meditate, yoga, all that type of stuff. And then when I'm out in public, it's a different person. It's more of an act now. Instead of my ego being myself the whole time, I put that face on when I need to, and I recognize.
And it's so true. Like I like that you talk about ego there. Like ego is what drove my addiction. Ego and fear is what drove my addiction for many years. I love hearing that. And when I heard that a couple of years ago, it rang true to me though. Like my ego got the best of me so many times, and it was and that is how I ended up in the cycle of addiction over and over again, because it was either Chris's way or no way. But it was time to listen and sit down and just learn from others around me that it's not always all about you. You got to take yourself out of your shoes and put yourself in other people's shoes in order to learn and be empathetic. That's one thing I'm really learning today, is to be empathetic with others.
The biggest crutch I ran into was my life could not fall apart from my selfish actions because I was able to do it. I got into martial arts. I was 14 years old and I went to a gym that was like pro Muay Thai fighters. There wasn't no kids class. There was me and 6, 7 of the young guys. And we just go there and just trained like insane. And I was on top of my diet, but I was also a bad kid. So when I say it, I wasn't like a disciplined Mr. God. Like I was going and learning how to fight fighters and going to high school and getting fights. But that being said, I was never hurting my own self. It was just, I had my own things on guard and I built a big group of friends, but we were going down a negative path. And I've been getting into all this archetype stuff and shadow this and the like that, and just seeing how my life went from going from one side to the other. And then you see that yin yang closing all together. I'm just getting into all this stuff and I'm getting too deep now, but that's where I'm with this pandemic. And people that know me, when they hear this, you know, what the hell happened? This was not me. I was the most practical. Like I thought all this energy and this love. And I was like, take that. I learned how to fight and then do what I want, how I want. And that worked until it didn't. Until you hit a you're on a bike and you can't fend for yourself anymore. Because I used to be able to pull myself into situations with my martial arts training, not just attacks, but also the mindset. The second I didn't have that body anymore, I was on freaking painkillers, laying in bed. I'm like, okay, now what? Now I have to rely on other people. And I spent my whole life being so self-centered and good at it. And now no one knows what to do with it.
Well, it's amazing, man, that you've come from where you did with hitting that deer on the motorcycle. It almost sounds like that hitting that deer on the motorcycle was almost a reality check for you in a sense.
Oh, that's what I tell everyone, it's a chin check. Because I teach kickboxing. I always tell people, I was like, I didn't believe in God. I didn't believe in the universe until I got a nice chin check. A deer jumped out at me in the middle of a highway at 2 in the morning at a highway on the back road. There's this that who hits a deer on a motorcycle and lives, and who hits a deer on a motorcycle on a highway. It was my lesson. I had it, but it took me a long time to learn. It was like I hit that deer. And I was like, oh, okay, I need to change my life.
I'm happy to be able to chat to you today on this show and hear the story, you know what I mean? And I feel that energy coming through at me as well, man. You feed well, we can feed off one another, and I love that, man. So if you had a magic stick, dude, what are 3 things you would change with the world today?
I got 2 magic sticks. I honestly, what I would do is number one. So I would say love first, but I'm going to pull back on that and say at least fixing yourself first. Looking in the mirror is the most important thing. Before you can love others, you got to love yourself. And to all those people that are like, yo, there's this people out here that's trying to bring me down. This person, to know thy enemy like I know thyself. If you don't know yourself, you're not going to know why that person's doing it. It all stems back. We learned that in recovery. It all stems back up. Would be people need to look in the mirror, myself included. I'm still looking in the mirror. Number 2 would be being nice to others. But again, being nice to others off the bat when you're a shitty person the rest of the day, it's not a good thing. Make yourself that person to care about. Then be nice to others. And then 3 would be physical activity. I asked you to get in shape. I was 200 pounds at the start of this pandemic.
That's amazing, man. And I like that you say that though too. Like you gotta this. It can be repeated over and over again, but man, if you cannot love yourself, there's no way you can love others, man. You got to learn to love yourself from the
That's what
inside.
it is.
It's
Yeah.
exactly. You got to work that work from the inner out. It's not all about work on the outside of you, man. It starts on the inside.
I heard I started Kundalini yoga, which is actually yoga for addiction specific. It's like it's pretty hokey pokey, but I've gotten into it, man. In the last 7 months now, I first learned it from this guy who was the CEO of a company and started doing this yoga, left his company, grew out his hair, and started dressing like a guru type dude. And now he teaches yoga for a living. So it's some pretty powerful stuff. And one thing he told me was that the house is on the inside. Because I was complaining about my roommates. I was like, my roommates, I'm doing so well. My roommates, the house is on the inside, man. Get that out. Your roommates can do whatever they want.
It's so true, man. It's like that circle of control as well. I've learned in therapy, man. You know what I mean? There's 2 circles. There's a big one on the outside and a little one on the inside. You are the little one on the inside. You can only control your actions and reactions to what goes on around you. It doesn't matter what others are doing. It matters about how you react or your actions towards any of those actions that are coming at you. If you want to choose to react to the negativity, that's on you. That's on no one else. But you can't blame someone else for say, oh, they said this is why I did this. You had the choice to not react to whatever that person said to you, though.
You're also getting a dopamine serotonin spike for getting into an argument. Let's not lie to ourselves here. I love going on Twitter, send some shots at some people when I'm in a bad mood. You go in there, talk with MMA, tell people what they don't know. I love doing that once in a while when I'm bad. That's not a healthy habit though. I recognize it. I just really took a deep look in my mirror this year or the last 2 years because I didn't have a choice. I was by myself during the pandemic, completely alone. Family wasn't talking to me. Friends were talking to me, single. Like it is what it is at that point. Like I was either wilt and die or fix my life up. It wasn't an option anymore.
That's amazing, man. So it sounds like this pandemic, like myself, really was an eye opener to you on so many levels.
It gave me the time. What I always told people was I was so far in my life as a young person, and people can say whatever they want about me. I didn't have a career on paper or whatever, but I had my stuff together. I had a car, had a place, I had a motorcycle, I had friends, I had family, I had a girlfriend, blah, 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 blah. And hitting the deer on the bike, that didn't do, after that all happened, I still thought it was that guy. I still thought it was the guy prior to that accident. And what this pandemic got me to do was see that I stopped that night. Everyone kept going. This pandemic gave me that time to catch up. And as bad as it's that people fell down, but seeing people fall, seeing them struggle gave me motivation and seeing them do well gave me inspiration. So I just watched people and I was like, oh, this is sad. This person's going apart. This is awesome. This person's going, well, I have two lanes here. I'm seeing this happen so much. I got two options. If I'm seeing this often during this pandemic, I can do that myself. If you see someone do something well once every 5 years, you don't think it's possible. But when you see thousands of people either fall or get up, it's on you at that point.
Like, you don't have success without failure. That's the bottom line, in my opinion. If you don't fall down,
Cool. Let me get the charger, man. Sorry, dude.
yeah. So we were just talking about there. The circle of control, the circle of inside you and stuff. You got to control you. You can only control you. You can't control what everyone else is doing around you. At the end of the day, if someone says something negative to you, you have the option to respond, react. You know what I mean? If you choose not to react, that's the proper way to go. But don't be bitching. You can't be bitching about the way someone did something to you if you're going to react negatively. You can turn a negative into a positive if you choose to at the end of the day, man.
Oh, of course. And what my thought on that is, like I was saying, is people enjoy that. People enjoy that conflict. That's why I go to the gym every day and do martial arts. People enjoy chaos. They enjoy conflict. And what I had to do was realize that and tell myself, like, hey, man, you kind of like getting up to shit once in a while. So get up to shit once in a while, recognize what it is and get off it. It's just like with addiction, how we have to abstain from everything. I think with habits, it's more or less that moderation type thing. We have those habits. If it's already in you, I'm not saying just go do something that you think is wrong. But if you have these habits going on social media, getting in arguments or lashing out at your boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever the issue is, just recognizing what that is and just slowly working on it. I think our society tries to way too much cold turkey everything. We like everything now and we like everything to be either left or right. There's no, I always say what I've been doing this year is I look at myself like a video game character and I'm building a stick house. So all these little toothpicks, just add them in, toothpick by toothpick. And that's what I've been doing.
It's like that ebbs and flows, man. You can't have it all the way up all the time, and you can't be going all the way down all the time, man. You gotta nice and flowing through life with the ebbs and flows, as they like to say.
And don't get me wrong, man. Like, that live fast, die young thing was my motto. I enjoy that big high and big low. I have no problem with it, but there comes a time where you got to pay back those issues. Like, and I don't mean that in a sense of people. I mean that I have things now that I have to work through that I did for fun. I have injuries that I have to fix because of what I wanted to do for fun. I have all this stuff that now as a man who has my life figured out, I have all these problems that I have to figure my way through and quit this and taper that and stop doing that. But it sucks. So if people want to live that life, I did. It was fun, but I'm paying for it.
Exactly. You can only go so long, man. You can only do those things for so long. It will catch up to you. Trust me. Like Dylan said, it does. You can live that fast life in the fast lane, but it's only going to get you so far. You can only go so long. Like you're not Terminator, man. You're not bulletproof.
Mm-mm.
And if you think you're bulletproof, then you got something coming for you.
You haven't been outside of your house much.
Is humanity doomed to head in a destructive direction the way things are going?
Man, I think what this is, if you want to get tinfoil hatted, this is the time where we can choose. And if you want to get real deep on that, a lot of neuroscientists and stuff are talking about your inner reality is your outer reality. So realistically, whoever decides that humanity's doomed, their humanity is going to be doomed. Their life, what they perceive, who's around them, how they act, what they're putting out, not me. So humanity, maybe, but me and mine, we're good.
Fair enough. I like that answer, man. That's a straightforward answer, man. I love it, dude. So what has been the role of community in your sobriety journey?
That's a long question. If I'm going to be completely honest with you, for me personally, outside community, I have found is better, but I'm very cautious to say that because my outside community is martial artists, yogis, Buddhist temple monks, Babaji's, the Hindu temple, native elders. Like I've built my own program, but it's not, oh yeah, you just got to stop and go hang out with good friends. Like I had to get a year, get my head on straight, live in a sober house with 6, 7 roommates, doing all that. I did the 12 steps, did all the work, got a binder like this full of paper, 5 hour fifth step. I don't mind talking about all this, but now moving forward, I'm building a community outside of people that have addiction problems. And I'm a coach. So I get to help people and be of service. Like my job, realistically, if you think about a martial arts coach, my job is to be the best human I can be and pass that on. The most evolved form of human, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Whatever I am is what I can pass on. The better I am, the better coach I am. So really, during a pandemic, I got a job to get healthy in a health crisis. So it just all worked out for me.
I like that you say that too, because I've built a community outside of the rooms of recovery as well, man. I personally, I really don't go too often. I have my own feelings around that kind of stuff, and we'll keep that there. But I've built, the community on my podcast, talking to people like yourself, Dylan. This is my outlet. I
Exactly.
say this every week. I really do truly look forward to Wednesdays. Yes, it's my day off from my full-time job, but I thoroughly look forward to releasing episodes every week, engaging in talks with other people around the world on social media. Like I try to use the social media to its advantage, man, and meet new people. I've been invited so many awesome places. Obviously, with the travel restrictions and stuff, it's a little harder. But it's nice to build this community that I'm building on this platform that I've created, and just to see where it goes. Like every Wednesday, that's what I look forward to. That's my recovery. That's my outlet now. When there were no in-person meetings, that's why I decided to start this podcast, and then it just evolved from there.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, these podcasts, not only have I done a couple and I've got to meet a bunch of cool people, but listening to Joe Rogan Experience and Jordan Peterson and Omri Marcus, where are you going to get that type of advice? Like it's people can say whatever they want about these guys, but young men don't have the best role models. I could throw on a 3 hour Jordan Peterson lecture at any time. And this type of stuff, I'm sure there's people that people that I know that are struggling with stuff that they haven't even told us about. And now they can hear our opinions on things and maybe that helps. That's why I'm doing this stuff. I don't really see myself doing podcasting, but I see myself being a guest on many of them because I know I've been through enough that I have at least a couple little drops of something for somebody. But I don't go with things. I don't want following. Like my brother's got that. I see what's going on there. I just like to get my message out, lock myself in a room, and go to my gym, and that's it.
Yeah, for yous that don't know, like, his brother is Brad Sousa, and he does have quite a big following on social media. He blew up. He's the Justin Bieber look-alike. No. But no, your brother's become successful, and we're not here to talk about your brother. This show's not about your brother. The show's about Dylan, but he's got support from every angle now that he's got his life back on track as well, and it's nice to see that, man.
Mhm.
What's your relationship like with your younger brother?
It's amazing now. My whole family they had to cut me up. I didn't give them a choice. My family is so supportive that if I was my parent, they would have been a wrap a long time ago. And they just kept giving me chance after chance. And one time it was chance too many. But then this pandemic, hit, and I've done enough now where they will always let me around, no matter what. But I've done enough now where I feel like I'm bringing positivity and love and myself to them. I don't want to hurt my family anymore. I wasn't really using them for support per se. Like I wasn't the guy that was taking money from his mom or anything like that. But I was using them as like a getaway when shit got bad for mom and shit got bad, real bad for me to the point where it wasn't really too safe for the family to go to mom's house. So they'll always have that door open, but I didn't want to use them as a as a blanket. I wanted to bring something to them. And my relationship, I got two brothers. So the one's Brad, he's doing music now. Just a video just released out of love on all podcast or all platforms. And I got another brother, Justin, who's a powerlifter. Smaller guy, but he's a powerlifting. So the three of us, like inseparable growing up. I was the really protective older brother to a fault where I was a little too protective. And Justin got into heavy metal, like a heavy metal band. I got to see that world, go to Slipknot concerts with him and stuff. And Brad kind of followed, I wouldn't say my footsteps, but my style. He was into like the dressing nice and the going out, nice cars. And he went that route. My other brother, totally opposite. And Brad made it work. And I'm really proud of him, man. I'm really proud of both of them.
That's amazing to hear, man. Yeah, everyone go check out Brad Seuss's new single out on all platforms, like Dylan just said. It's nice to see. Yeah, and I hear you with those boundaries from family. My family had to put some boundaries up as well when I first got clean and sober again, and it was for the better though. But I'm so grateful that they were there to support me along the way. Having the friends that I have in my life today, like I can count them on this hand. That's it.
Mm.
And I'm happy to say that, and I'm proud to say that too. My circle's this small now. It doesn't need to be big at all, man.
I've always had 1,000 acquaintances and very little friends. My whole life's been like,
Yeah, exactly. I don't even have those acquaintances anymore, and I'm happy about that, man. I don't need those acquaintances anymore. You know what I mean? Like I just keep that circle small and keep that support circle small and keep those people in your life that actually truly value you and see you for your worth and stuff like that. And that's what family's about today, man. So tell us your best advice for de-stressing. We've sort of talked about it through the episode and stuff, but what can be your best advice, Dylan, for anyone out there that's going through some stressful or anxious times?
breath work, Wim Hof breath work, box breathing, Shaolin monk breathing. It's all our breath is everything. Controls the heart rate, controls the body. There's ways to release things in your brain, serotonin, dopamine, all through breathing. But other than that, be the Bruce Lee, like water. Be like water, flow. Right now, with the way the world is, it's not time to have these big, grandiose dreams. You ain't got the time to be suffering and be upset with yourself, or you're gonna fall. Like that's not an option. You just keep going down. No one cares right now. No one cares. So the grandiose dreams and the 4V, it's go to the water. You start flow with whatever's going on. Wherever you are right now, you're in the middle of a pandemic, and that's where you are. And now it's square one. Everyone got, I say it's like control alt delete. We all got control alt delete 2 years ago. Now it's up to us. What are you going to do with it?
I like that insight, man. That's amazing. But definitely breath work is key, like you said. I got to get back into that, the meditation, the breath work and stuff, man, because I think it'll make my day flow a little better. Even if you just take those few moments, if you're having a bad day or a bad moment, man, just step back and just say, hey, to whoever it is, or I'll be back in 5. I just got to reconvene or whatever it is. Give me a few minutes and we can move past this.
And there's science behind breath work. So not just having the couple breaths in deep through your nose, out through your mouth 3 times, how you get in meditative state. Wim Hof is 30 in and out. Hold for a minute or 2 minutes. Repeat that 3 times. And there's all this stuff. I've just been finding things on YouTube. You lock me in a room for a year, just watch.
Hey, YouTube, you can go down rabbit holes, but sometimes you can go down some very educational stuff too. That's how I've taught myself to do lots of this stuff on the podcast. Just watch videos. It's all out there. If you want to use your
brain. Yeah. What I tell people now is the Matrix movie came true. You know, when Neo hits that button and gets Kung Fu put in his head? Okay, it's not that easy, but go on YouTube, pull up Kung Fu. You can literally, with a cell phone or with YouTube and all that, you can learn anything you want. This whole thing about learning a trade now and doing one thing your whole entire life, good luck. Like 10 years from now, you're going to have to be multiversed on things.
You hit it bang on there, man. So true, Dylan. So before we go today, though, man, if you were to speak to a group or a group of college or high school graduates, what would be your one piece of advice you'd give them?
I would first tell them my story about how I was like martial artist that was Muay Thai and not like a more traditional martial art. I was involved with motorcycle clubs, riding Harleys, getting in fights, partying, making money in ways I shouldn't have been. And then I would tell them at the end, that universe shit, it's real. That everything comes back to you and everything happens for a reason and all that. I would tell them, don't worry about being popular. Don't worry about being cool. Only birds are on Twitter. Only birds need followers and they tweet. Just worry about yourself. Keep your house nice and clean and help others.
Thank you so much, man. Before we go though, where can everyone find you on social media?
Not that active on it now, but at Dylan ROTV is my kickboxing kind of one. And then I started off this one where I'm just messing around, and it's at the Violent Guru. And I post some stuff I'm watching, rabbit holes. That's actually new one to follow because I post a lot of rabbit holes I go down. So breathing techniques and like yoga and I just post whatever the hell I'm up to. And that's at the Violent Guru. And yeah, I'm not too bad on social media. You can give my brother at Grant seems so too easy. Yeah, give him a follow. Check me out.
Go give Brad a follow. Go give Dylan a follow, everyone. But thank you again for coming on the show today, man, and sharing your story and sharing some great insights that you have as well, Dylan, man. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.
You too, man. It's great to work with you.
Thank you.